Hello, welcome to listening to this book every day. Today, I will interpret, Are You Fully Charged, for you. How can we experience abundance and enthusiasm every day? The author of this book is Tom Rath. He is the global consulting leader at Gallup, a renowned company in the United States. He is also a best-selling author, having written works like How Full Is Your Bucket, StrengthsFinder 2.0, Eat Move Sleep, and many others. His works have sold over 6 million copies worldwide. However, what is not widely known is that he was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 16 and lost his left eye as a result. Now, he has been fighting cancer for more than 20 years, but he still lives and works with boundless enthusiasm every day. How does he manage to do that? In this book, he shares with us how he keeps himself energized. Many people find themselves full of anticipation for their new jobs after graduation, excited about the various benefits the company offers, the training, and the opportunity to meet impressive people. They feel a sense of mission in their daily work, and they can say that every day is filled with energy. However, after 3 to 5 years of work, when you talk to them about changing the world, they might reply, "Don't give me empty talk, show me real results, give me a raise and bonuses, that's what matters." Why did we turn from being fit for the distant future to being content with the present? At the same time, you will always find some people in this world who, regardless of how difficult their circumstances are or how intense their work is, always appear energetic and enthusiastic. Even those octogenarians or nonagenarians still resemble playful youngsters, earning our sincere admiration. So the question arises, how can we all become people full of vitality? That's what we will share next, starting with 3 parts. Creating meaning, positive interactions, and energy reserves. Let's take a look one by one. Part 1, let's talk about creating meaning. First, let me ask a question, why pursue meaning instead of happiness? This question, in simple terms, pertains to personal pursuits, but in a broader sense, it becomes a philosophical inquiry. Let's hear what scientists have to say. Studies have shown that individuals who prioritize their personal happiness are more prone to feelings of loneliness and powerlessness in their daily lives. It's akin to the emptiness one might feel during a vacation, binge-watching TV shows for consecutive days. It may seem satisfying during the binge, but when the show ends, a deep sense of loss prevails instead of contentment. Yet, this is just a short-term, superficial impact of a life lacking meaning. Another surprising result from research indicates that when people lead happy but meaningless lives, their bodies exhibit a stress-related gene pattern, which triggers a state of vigilance. Over time, this pattern can lead to chronic stress, associated with heart disease, cancer, and various other illnesses. Psychologists conclude that a sense of empty positive emotion has almost the same impact on a person as adversity. To summarize these 2 studies, if life is solely devoted to pursuing personal happiness, it not only leaves one with a sense of emptiness but also has negative consequences for long-term health. Pursuing meaning in life is not merely a matter of personal preference, it is a fundamental question one must face to attain genuine happiness. Now, the question arises, how can we make our lives meaningful? When it comes to this, let me first ask you, how do you make choices in your daily life? Suppose a friend presents you with a new career opportunity and invites you to join. What criteria would you use to make that decision? Ask yourself, how much money can you make from this project? Are the team members professional and experienced? Is the likelihood of the project's success high? Making decisions based solely on these money-related factors may not be incorrect, but if you prioritize them, it indicates a pursuit of money rather than meaning. Pursuing money and pursuing meaning are not contradictory, but they have subtle yet significant differences. Which one is more important, money or meaning? Speaking of pursuing meaning in life, it might sound easy, but when making decisions, we often unconsciously fall into the habit of prioritizing money over meaning. Some researchers conducted an interesting study where they made 2 strangers sit together and chat. They subtly steered the conversation toward money. Surprisingly, when the participants thought about money, they unconsciously created a 30-centimeter physical distance between themselves and the other person, isolating themselves. In essence, when people think about money, they may become more guarded and create distance between themselves and others, which can lead to isolation. Nobel laureate and psychologist Daniel Kahneman and his colleagues found that wealth tends to reduce the time people spend doing things they enjoy and increases the time spent on stressful activities. So, when we make choices in life, if the first question we ask ourselves is, can I make money from this? Can I make more than what I'm currently earning? Can I make as much as possible? This is the beginning of being held hostage by money. Regardless of how much money you earn, there will always be someone with a bigger house, a fancier car, more money, and better possessions. Even if you think you'll be happy earning $1 million a year, you might find yourself unsatisfied when you see a friend earning $2 million. So, the real question about your friend's career opportunity inviting you to join is, what value can I bring to others if I join? Do I love and want to invest in such a pursuit? Even if this project doesn't succeed or I won't earn a single penny from it, am I still willing to do it? If you discover that you would be willing to do this even without any monetary gain, then it is a meaningful endeavor worth your investment. Why is this meaningful? Scientists have found that people are motivated by two types of incentives, extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation refers to doing something for a reward, like working for money. This approach may lead to a life attitude of, I am happy if I have money, and I am unhappy if I don't. In contrast, intrinsic motivation means having a desire to do something well from within, even without any monetary reward. In other words, with intrinsic motivation, even when you have no money, you still want to do what you love. What truly fuels our passion comes from internal motivation, especially when the pursuit is not solely for personal gain but also serves others. This, in turn, leads to a sense of fulfillment and enthusiasm. You might say, I don't have many important opportunities to choose from, and my daily work involves dealing with trivial matters. It's not what I genuinely want to do, so how can I be enthusiastic? Regarding the work you do, the common but radical notion is that the world is vast, and you want to explore it. People will tell you to follow your heart and that you can quit your job to find your true self. However, the advice to follow your heart can be misleading. The premise behind such advice is that you consider yourself the center of the world, and pursuing your own happiness is life's goal. As mentioned earlier, if a person only thinks about personal happiness, it is easy to end up feeling empty. To achieve true happiness, the solution may not be as simple as following your heart. Instead, ask yourself, what value can my actions bring to others? How can they help others? Once you start thinking this way, you can find enthusiasm even in your daily work. It's like that slogan, if there's a beach in your heart, anywhere can be the Maldives. The author asserts that what truly fills life with meaning is the work we do every day, not just the major actions. Every job should have its own meaning, perhaps we haven't discovered it yet, but meaning won't come knocking on our door. We need to create it. This reminds me of Japan's strongest airport janitor. He obtained the National Building Cleaning Skills Certificate in Japan and garnered attention from both Japan and China. His work has exceeded that of a regular janitor. He not only cleans the airport to an impeccable standard but also pays attention to using non-irritating cleaning agents when handling areas that passengers touch. He is meticulous and is known as the national security cleaning worker in Japan. Nujing Chunzi turned a regular janitor job into something meaningful because he always seeks what value his work can bring to others. So, to infuse your daily work with enthusiasm, you need to rethink how your work helps others. For example, if you work in customer service at a call center, you can think about how you have the opportunity to comfort others, solve their problems, and make their lives better every day. If you are a programmer, you can think about how your product can save people time or make their leisure time more enjoyable. Take the time to ponder on the value you bring to others, and then find ways to align your interests and passions with this value. This is an essential method to make your work meaningful and fill yourself with enthusiasm. One of the author's friends in the publishing industry is motivated every day by seeing the readership of books he plans increasing. Another friend working at London's train station feels inspired by the challenge of making the most difficult passengers smile. So, in your own work, you can find things. After discussing that, let's talk about positive interactions. Part 2. In our daily lives, we have countless interactions with others that bring either positive or negative energy. Research has found that the frequency of positive interactions is more crucial than their intensity. In other words, experiencing several mildly positive events in a day can improve our mood more than experiencing one highly positive event. To understand this better, consider finding $10 multiple times in a day, which would bring more joy than finding $100 just once. Therefore, if we create more positive interactions in our lives, it becomes easier to feel fulfilled and satisfied. So, how can we create positive interactions? The author shares 3 methods, and here are the key points. 1. When engaging in conversations, make sure at least 80% of the content revolves around positive things. Focus on discussing positive topics. For example, when you meet someone, compliment their appearance, and the other person will be delighted. But if you criticize their clothing, you might receive a cold response. The rationale is simple, but in the workplace, people tend to do the opposite. For instance, when managers conduct meetings with employees, they often spend about 80% of the time pointing out flaws and problems. Instead, managers should dedicate 80% of the time to look at things from a positive and constructive perspective, encouraging their team. Spending 20% of the time discussing areas for improvement is essential, but research shows that negative feedback has 4 times the impact of positive feedback. By starting with 80% positive messages, the following 20% negative feedback can be received calmly and rationally. If you encourage employees 50% of the time and criticize them the other 50%, they will ultimately feel bad. To foster a fulfilling and enthusiastic work environment, use 80% of the time to deliver positive and uplifting content, reserving 20% to address shortcomings and improvement. 2. Spend money on positive interactions. This method may come as a surprise. We often say that money can't buy happiness, but the author suggests otherwise. It depends on how you spend the money. Spending money on material possessions to satisfy your own material desires doesn't provide lasting and genuine happiness. The author advises you to spend money on experiences. Many may feel hesitant, thinking experiences are intangible and short-lived. For instance, a vacation lasts only a few days, and after a movie, the enjoyment lasts for only an hour or 2. Instead, buying a tangible item seems more practical, as it can be used for many years. However, a study conducted by an expert from San Francisco State University revealed that people underestimate the value of experiential consumption. The study followed a group of young people with meaningful experiences for a year. Those who consistently spent money on experiences for others, like family and friends, showed the most significant reduction in depressive symptoms compared to those who spent the money on themselves. People tend to think experiences offer only transient happiness, but in reality, the actual happiness experienced from those experiences was 106% higher than their initial estimations. This means that experiences provide more happiness and have higher lasting value than we realize. This enlightens us that spending money on others, on meaningful experiences, or joint activities can fill us with energy. This brings to mind the Hollywood movie, The Bucket List, where a billionaire with cancer meets a poor patient who talks about unfulfilled dreams due to a lack of money. The billionaire decides to fulfill each other's dreams by funding their joint experiences, like traveling the world and fulfilling various desires. The experience brought immense happiness and fulfillment to both, proving that spending money on others can indeed buy happiness. In a 2014 study, researchers focused on a group of young people with depression and sensitivity to happiness. They tracked them for a year, offering different financial choices to either keep the money or give it to family. The results after 1 year showed that those who consistently chose to give money to family experienced the most significant reduction in depressive symptoms throughout the study, while those who kept the money experienced an increase in the likelihood of depressive symptoms. This indicates that spending money on others, whether it's family, friends, meaningful causes, or experiences, can fill us with energy. It's interesting to note that the way to fill ourselves with energy is, in essence, to output towards others. This positive interaction with others creates a cycle of positive energy. We often find that even challenging positive interactions with others leave us with beautiful memories and a sense of happiness. For example, when you go on a honeymoon trip with your partner, even if you encounter some annoying things along the way, such as losing a wallet or a delayed train, the memories are still filled with warmth and joy. This kind of experience cannot be achieved by simply spending money on material possessions. To some extent, spending money on others for positive interactions might be a good choice. 3. The third technique for positive interactions is to praise others more. This point is self-explanatory. Praising others is a positive interaction, and it's essential to do it sincerely and with specific details. Insincere praise can be more damaging than criticism. This sums up the second part about how positive interactions with others can fill us with energy. Now, let's talk about the last key point, maintaining abundant energy. Part 3. To stay energized, it is essential to address how to cope with stress. Many people have a misconception about stress, thinking it only disrupts their mood occasionally, and it's okay to have high levels of stress for a few days or weeks, as it will pass. However, the reality may not be that simple. Research has found that excessive stress can accumulate, much like snow piling up in front of a door during winter. If not cleared in time, stress can build up and become overwhelming. So, how can we prevent stress from accumulating? Researchers conducted a year-long study on 239 women to examine stress levels. They found that women who maintained a healthy lifestyle did not experience significant impacts from accumulated stress on their bodies. On the other hand, women without healthy habits showed faster cellular aging. Therefore, to remain energetic and handle stress effectively, maintaining a healthy lifestyle is crucial. If the methods mentioned earlier, such as creating meaning and positive interactions, are about recharging our minds, then accumulating energy is about recharging our bodies. Having energy in our bodies makes us better equipped to handle stress and face challenges with a positive mindset. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle that recharges our bodies is relatively simple. 1. Eating well. Focus on the quality, not just the quantity, of food. The effects of eating 300 kilocalories of spinach and 300 kilocalories of cream cake are different. Food not only impacts energy levels but also significantly affects our mood. Some foods provide positive energy, while others have a negative impact. For example, eating too much fried food can make one feel lethargic and unhappy, while consuming vegetables and fruits can make one feel calmer and happier. 2. Staying active. Regular exercise is essential, but the author also reminds us of a problem that most people overlook. Exercising every day may not fully counteract the harm caused by prolonged sitting. A study estimated that every 2 hours of sitting would offset the benefits of 20 minutes of exercise. Therefore, researchers recommend incorporating short periods of activity during prolonged periods of sitting, such as taking 5-minute breaks every hour at work. 3. Getting sufficient sleep. A previous chapter in this book discussed elite performance and found that the best performers on average sleep for 8 hours and 36 minutes each night, while the average working American only gets around 6 hours and 50 minutes. Research has also shown that lacking 4 hours of sleep is equivalent to consuming 6 bottles of beer. Thus, adequate sleep is essential and serves as a crucial tool for maintaining energy. The 3 points may sound commonplace, and most people are aware of them. However, the author presents a perspective that we may not have realized: eating, exercising, and sleeping are interconnected. In other words, excelling in one area can create a positive energy spiral, benefiting the other 2 aspects. Conversely, if any of these aspects are neglected, it can lead to a negative energy loop, resulting in insufficient energy to effectively handle stress. In addition to maintaining a healthy lifestyle, there's a practical technique called smiling endurance. Even a forced or fake smile can help us cope with stress. A medical research group conducted a study on 74 patients with depression and injected botulinum toxin or saline solution into the muscles between their eyebrows to prevent frowning. After 6 weeks, 52% of those injected with botulinum toxin experienced relief from depression, compared to only 15% in the saline group. This supports the idea that smiling, even when feeling down, might have a scientific basis. So, the next time you feel upset, try to smile because it could recharge you. In summary, the main content of this book focuses on 3 aspects to approach work and life with passion and energy. Firstly, engage in meaningful activities driven by internal motivation, irrespective of monetary incentives. Secondly, foster positive interactions with others, as small positive interactions throughout the day can create a good mood. Lastly, manage your body's energy through a healthy lifestyle to handle stress and challenges with a positive attitude. These points may sound simple, but the author proposes an insightful idea that eating, exercising, and sleeping are interconnected. Excelling in one aspect creates a positive energy spiral, benefiting the other 2. Conversely, neglecting any of these aspects leads to a negative energy loop, resulting in insufficient energy to cope effectively with stress. Moreover, adopting the technique of smiling endurance can help us manage stress even when forcing a smile. Smiling, even if not genuine, may still provide benefits. This concludes the entire content of this audio session. Congratulations on completing another book. Thank you for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel, give it a thumbs up, and share it with family and friends. Wisdom deserves to be shared to create a better future. Thank you and goodbye.